Good afternoon. We are here at Jinjiang Park in Shanghai, and it's a brand new theme park for us. But this park was built in around the 1980s.
We've been standing here for a few minutes, and that's the first time we've seen that coaster go. First, we were thinking we were going to be missing out. We've seen a similar coaster, might be the exact same, at Silverwood in Idaho. And every time we've gone for Scarywood, it's been closed.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to actually getting on this coaster for the first time in Shanghai of all places. I thought Silverwood would be the place where we got to go on it, but yeah. So that's exciting news.
Yeah, so luckily, if we like it, I believe we get to do it multiple times. The type of admission that we got is a wristband that appears to have unlimited access for the rides. You get a couple different options. You can pay 130 RMB for full wristband, full everything. You can pay, I think it's 80 RMB for entrance and 2 rides, or just 10 RMB if you just want to come in and look around. So you got a couple different options.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend, no matter what, coming and at least getting the little 10 RMB ticket to just walk around. You'll get a good feel. And just outside, there's like a nice little Chinese market with tons of food and stuff. For us, it's very similar to our OC night markets that happen a few times during the summer.
Yeah.
It's just all about great food.
A ton of food.
And there's definitely certain things that we can see that parallel to at home. So it's kind of nice to see like how much it matches to traditional markets versus not. So there's a good similarity. So now I start to feel a little bit better about our little night markets at home.
But yeah, let's go check out the rest of the park. I'm super excited. So actually in front of this coaster you have this little statue of a Gundam, it looks like. And he's holding what appears to be the 2 pillars of the ride. And actually the ride like goes around him, so that's kind of cool. You can see it here a little bit better. There's the pillars, and Kaizen goes around him. And he's kind of huge. Like I'm standing up right now, and he's way up there. But he looks like from a distance. So yeah, he is definitely tall. So yeah, you can see 2 pillars he's holding. They pretty much match up the pillars of the ride. Actually, it looks like they have signs in both Mandarin and English, which is nice. Moto coaster entrance left. Looks like they actually have a cool little statue over here of the motor coaster. And back there, this blue coaster, that's actually the motor coaster. Oh, you can sort of see it, or not. What are these people waiting in line for? Oh, they're waiting for this slow-moving ride up here. This is like a mini train that runs along the park. So they actually have this nice little water area with a whole bunch of lily pads and a nice little bridge. Look at that little ride. It looks to be like a 30-minute wait for it though. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here to have some sort of water ride. And if I'm looking at this right, that looks like a butt you're exiting.
You're coming out the lion's butt.
Out the lion's butt. Oh yeah, because it looks like there's a face over there.
Oh, wait, but I think I see something more like a saber-tooth type or something.
Interesting. You enter the saber-tooth's mouth and out his butt. And over here you can see the slow-moving like train.
I think like a monorail. It's got the monorail look.
Okay, yeah, slow-moving monorail up there. And of course, no theme park is complete without a log ride. And Jinjiang Park is no exception.
I'm just very pleased to see it running. The last week or so, it's been very rainy, a little bit cooler. If that was the case at any one of the northern states for their parks, they wouldn't be running it. So I'm very glad to see them running it.
Looks like they have a small, flat spinning ride over here. I kind of like the design of it.
To me, this building has a little bit of a small world vibe with the colors, the geometric shapes that it has. I've been wondering if maybe this was maybe a boat ride that was done sort of to that fashion. It would have been really cool if that was the case.
Look at the size of this Ferris wheel. This Ferris wheel is like probably the #1 attraction in the park. That is just a huge, and it looks like a brand new Ferris wheel.
Wow. And I here I thought that the one at St. Louis Six Flags was big, but this is, that's enough to give me some fear of heights.
Definitely bigger than the one at Six Flags. They have a cool little Chinese dragon over here. Nice little water feature.
I'm kind of wishing that they had like a little mini boat ride thing going through. It just looks really fun and beautiful. I want to get in there.
So yeah, this prehistoric world ride, this building is absolutely massive, so I'm very curious as to what's inside of it. So it looks like they actually have a rafting ride here. And underneath it, maybe a restaurant. So they have one of these types of flat rides. It goes up and down, kind of like a pirate ship. So I don't know if you can see the line behind us, but it's for the same flat ride over here. And the line goes on for miles and miles.
Now, these extra long lines might not be the common case. Right now, it's during their Labor Day holiday, which runs from May 1st to May 5th. So a lot of people are spending time with their families and out and about. For example, today we were looking up the line to Disneyland, and they were showing most rides to be like 3 hours long.
Crazy busy.
Yeah, so it's a little bit understandable that this would also be just as busy comparatively. I don't think we're going to see 3-hour waits, but definitely a lot longer than standard. So if you come here on your own, I wouldn't necessarily expect lines like this unless you're probably around a public holiday, maybe anytime when school's out, something like that.
I have heard that the Ferris wheel is a separate ticketed event within the park or attraction. And so it looks like to get a ticket, you go back here to the Ferris wheel office. Aw, it looks like one of their other roller coasters, literally just called, I think, roller coaster, is not running at the moment. There is no lines and no operator on it. That's kind of sad. So Crystal just pointed out, behind us over here is actually the stone for the Beijing Olympics back in 2008. So that's kind of cool that there's a stone here. I don't know what it signifies, like maybe this park was a special place of the Beijing Olympics.
I don't think that would be the case, but it might just be, I would guess, maybe more of like a proudness and like, hey, we got to host the Olympics in 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, I could still see that being a proud thing, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they have a 4D show that's on Prehistoric Planet, Walking with the Dinosaurs. So they might have misspelled prehistoric there. It's kind of cool. It looks like it's actually set inside the volcano that was above it. And over here, I guess that's where you can see the 4D ride. Okay, they have a very old Rambo game, or what I assume is very old, since Rambo's a very old movie. Cool little clown statue over here for the flywheel, which I assume is this. And here is what the ride looks like. They have a couple of these at like Six Flags that we've seen. Ooh, it looks like they have one of those like people-powered carts. It's kind of interesting, and there appears to be a huge backup. Here's a crazy ride called Backflash. Oh my gosh. Oh geez. No. No, 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 no. And here we have a ride called Power Surge. And actually really nice that the names of the rides are in English also for the most part. But you won't catch me on this ride. So I found a hidden Mickey here at the Jinjiang Park. It's literally a Mickey that looks like it is kind of erased.
Back at the front where we first came in, by that one coaster that we said is never open in Idaho, I believe it may have it in the film. We'll have to go back and double check, but that building that was right there actually had a Mickey above it as well.
So I guess they used to have a ticketing office shaped like a miniature tree. That's kind of cool.
It's quite adorable, actually. I wish that was open.
They have a VR roller coaster. That could be kind of interesting. Finally got to the front of our first coaster, or first ride we're doing so far, the cart coaster. Looks like an indoor roller coaster ride. Okay. This should be kind of interesting. So I was actually a little wrong. It's called the Karst Cave Coaster, not the Cart Coaster. It's actually really surprising. I thought it was a fun coaster.
It was pretty fun. It's a bit different, and it has a prehistoric inner cave feel with a lot of dinosaurs around.
I like the coaster mechanic. It's actually an electric coaster. There was no chain lift. It was just like it'd go up hills, fast. And that part was nice. And you did 2 loops of the whole track, which was nice. I thought we were, kind of screwed out of our waiting time because, we waited all that long and we only would do the 1 loop. But yeah, we did 2 loops, which was nice.
Yeah. This ride, though, is in a little bit need of repair, I think, though, because some of the dinosaurs were a bit interesting. There's somewhere there's no more legs or tail, and they should just put it up on a cart. The T-Rex, I don't think it's planned, but it looks like it's like it's flopped over. It's still interesting to see, though, because that's not something we've seen before. So that definitely made it fun.
It is a great coaster, though. For the Ferris wheel just keeps getting longer and longer. So we're gonna check out this mini mart, or what looks like to be a mini mart now. You can get like ramen noodles, it looks like, waters, shrimp flakes, Lay's potato chips. Ooh, and they have a cucumber flavor. And Mexican tomato chicken flavor. A whole bunch of drinks that aren't cold. And then they also have some cold drinks back here. So that's actually kind of cool. I've never seen a mini mart in a theme park before. Right next door to the mini mart, you have an interesting little attraction. You have some like anti-air guns that kids can play on and get their picture taken on. That's interesting. So right next door to the anti-aircraft gun is what looks like an old Chinese fighter jet. Kind of cool picture opportunities you wouldn't get at Disneyland, that's for sure. There's a puppy in the park. Look at that. An actual pupper. We got a Coke at the mini mart.
Some type of orange juice drink.
And then
some type of ice cream.
Not really sure what fruit that is.
Yeah, something about it almost looks kind of like a jackfruit to me, but that doesn't quite seem right. So I have no idea. I wanted to go for the big mystery.
So it looks kind of like creamy white.
Let's see what the flavor is like.
Weird. What does it taste like? If you had a guess.
I can't pinpoint it, and I think it's probably because it's a flavor that I might not have had or have had so rarely. It's not very sweet. I got this weird feeling it still might be jackfruit based, because I've heard that if you don't mess with jackfruit well enough, that it's kind of a little bit pungent. That's the right word. So I don't know. It's got a good consistency, despite the fact that it has a little icy shard look. It still doesn't taste very icy. It's still creamy. But yeah, if you have any idea what this flavor is, let me know. I want to know so I can avoid.
So I have a theory. We've been hearing these loudspeaker announcements, and we don't know what they're saying. It's something in Mandarin. But my theory is that it's an announcement of new ride openings here at the park, because the park doesn't open all its rides at once when the park first opens. So yeah, I have a theory that it's when a new ride opens that an announcement comes on and announces, oh yeah, this ride is open. So if you hear an announcement, run for the ride that hasn't been opened yet, because it might just have opened and you might be a huge line of people. So we've been waiting in this line for seemingly 40 minutes now. We're on the last part of it that we get to wait through, but I just want to show off all the green behind me. It's just an incredible amount of green. So about 2 hours later, we can finally see the loading section for the docks. It's maybe a 10-minute wait at this point. Definitely don't come here on a holiday in China. You know the line is long when somebody actually braids the plants. Check this out. Somebody actually braided this plant that was alongside the line. Oh my gosh. So we just got finished with the raft ride here, and it's actually one of the best raft rides I've ever done.
The scenery in it is really, really nice. There's like, I don't know, pillars and like it's just like these rock wall areas covered with greens all over. It's just really, really beautiful.
It's better than a lot of raft rides we've done at other parks, which is actually, I mean, they put time and effort into it, so
Yeah.
they deserve all the recognition they can. If you love raft rides, you have to come check this out. There's a huge indoor section of it, which is definitely missing out in a lot of theme parks we've been to. A lot of them.
Yeah, or if they do have an indoor section in other ones, it's just kept being pretty dark. This one added a little flair to it.
Yeah, it was kind of like the mine train at Disneyland, how there's that indoor cavern section. So it was like
Bright
that.
colors and yeah, the stalagmite, stalactite type feel.
And we actually have a 360 video that we shot of the ride, so we'll be sure to link that below. But an amazing ride, but we did wait like 2 hours for it. So I don't know how many rides we're gonna do today. We've done 2 so far. We've checked out the whole park. The park is pretty amazing, but there's a few rides that were taken out and are not working that we were originally very keen to see from the YouTube videos we've seen of the park.
Hopefully that just means that something new and great is going to come.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, we're gonna check out if there's any other lines that we feel like waiting in. But yeah, they've been so long today.
At least we've been waiting in long lines for rides that we end up feeling are worth it in the end. I mean, worth it seems to be a little stretch, but it's a lot better than like waiting cars and being like, wait, what? That was it.
Yeah.
So at least we haven't had that feeling yet.
One thing about this ride though is there's a gate up here and they hold people back, and that's why the line is so long outside. Even though there's a long queue area within the ride itself where you can like see the whole raft as they go down the river, they hold people out here, and my guess is it's a safety concern. They don't want people near the water that much. So yeah, just a little fact about it. So underneath the Ferris wheel you have all these little paint droplets. So I think the painters were a wee bit messy, because actually you can see they dribbled paint all over this building. This used to look nice from the looks of it, but yeah, covered in paint. One thing I just caught for the Ferris wheel, one of the doors is actually not closed. I don't know if you can see that, but there's literally a door on this Ferris wheel that does not close, which makes me worry about the other doors of the Ferris wheel, considering the Ferris wheel is absolutely huge. Look at the size of this thing. And that worries me so much that the door isn't closed on this one. So even though we just saw the door open on one of the Ferris wheel things, we just bought tickets to it. It was 50 RMB each, which is, what is that, like $10? No, maybe less than $10.
A little less than $10.
Yeah, but it's a separate cost to the wristband, just so you know. As we're waiting for the Ferris wheel, this roller coaster over here that's, I think, literally just called a roller coaster, you can see it's closed, and it's actually not even listed on the park map. So I think this is one of those coasters that is just closed for a while until they refurbish it. I believe this is the same coaster design type that they have maybe at Colorado. I think in Elite Gardens is what it's called over there. I did that as a kid, but yeah. Looks like you're lifted up this chain, you keep going towards the end, and then you roll back down to the loop and then come back up to the station. So one thing to note about this coaster is the highway is right here, so you actually have some pretty stunning views if we were able to go on it, of the highway literally right next door, cars just buzzing back and forth. So I couldn't help but notice that this yellow one over here It's kind of very tilted. I think there's too many people on one side. That would worry me a little bit too much. So we're almost near the front. Overall, this line hasn't been that bad. Maybe 20 minutes with another 10 to go. Found another area where the painter just totally like made a mistake. We're about to board. Here we go. Whew.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. This is very, very tall.
Very tall indeed. But hey, look, they have a fan. That's nice. We talked about how close the freeway was to this orange coaster, but here you can actually see it is incredibly close. Here's what it looks like on this other side. I mean, if I was on the coaster, I think I'd fall off onto the freeway. You can just see how close the freeway is to the whole park. Like, it is definitely shoved in here as a theme park. I wonder actually what came first, the freeway or the theme park. Here's an aerial view of the park. Definitely does not look as busy as it did earlier in the day, but the lines are still kind of long. I don't know if you can see these houses and apartments behind Crystal, but they all look kind of the same. Like, they're all the same type of house or apartment. Yeah, it's just crazy. They just go on. There's probably 50 of them. They're all the same, but on the other hand, even though there's so many buildings, look at all the trees. Shanghai is just populated by trees. Oh, and more of that one type of building. But there are just so many trees here in China. Or Shanghai, I don't know about China as a whole, but Shanghai has a lot of trees. Like, we are so flabbergasted. In LA, you definitely just don't get the amount of trees that they have here in Shanghai. I don't know if that's because of some government initiative where they're trying to, curb pollution. But it's just amazing. I wish LA did the same thing where they just plant 1,000 trees.
Yeah, even like last night we were just out and about getting some tea, and we were talking to the guy that's there, and he's from Taiwan but goes to LA a lot to visit friends, and we were just talking about how there is that lack of trees. He's like, yeah, it's like freeway, McDonald's, freeway, Burger King. I mean, that's basically how you can talk about LA. It's like you have concrete and fast food, and he's kind of not wrong.
So we're at the top. It only goes downhill from here. So that water over here is actually where the bumper boats used to be, but apparently they're not active anymore. And then next to it, this building over here, that's where Karst coaster is. The indoor coaster we did earlier in the video, but yeah, it's a huge indoor section, and I really like actually that they decorated the top of the building. Not many theme parks will decorate the top or like the sides of buildings that guests may not see. So this is actually a really cool feature that they did where they decorated the top of the building. So I'll give them kudos for that. Over here you can sort of make out the raft ride, and here's the river. And you can sort of tell where it goes. I kind of lose it in the bushes over here. Oh wait, no, that's it down here. So yeah, it goes over here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a rock building here, and that's actually the inside portion of the raft ride. And over here, this is one of the unused buildings or temporarily unavailable rides that used to be a dark water ride, sort of like It's a Small World after all. And you can actually see that the footprint of the building is absolutely massive. So here's like the rest of the park on that side, and here is this building. So it has a massive footprint, so they're definitely doing something with it. I just wish it would have been open when we were here. Over here, this grass section, that's where a crazy mouse coaster used to be. But I guess for some reason they tore that down as well.
So I'm looking at the line and at the log flume track that it goes on, and if it's anything like the line for the rapids, I don't know if this is going to be worth it. Originally we were planning on maybe going on it after the Ferris wheel. I think I'm going to pass. That's my vote.
And thus concludes our journey on the Ferris wheel. Probably one of the coolest rides we were on today. But all three of them were really kind of cool. So So it looks like the line for the rapids has gone down substantially over here. It is nearing the 5:30 when the park is theoretically closing. So we're not sure if they honor the system like Disney does, where if you're in line, you get to ride the ride no matter what, even if the park is closed. So Jinjiang Park in Shanghai, absolutely amazing. It's a great park, 130 RMB for a wristband that gets you all access, and it's well worth it.
There's only a few select rides that doesn't include, I believe it's a few, but at least I know for sure the Ferris wheel is an additional 50 RMB ticket. Well worth it though. It's so tall and it feels so smooth. And even though sometimes we get a little nervous with heights, with this one being even taller, it wasn't a problem, only I think because it moves slowly and continuously instead of other ones that start and stop and you get the big swing back.
Yeah. Just don't come on a busy holiday and you'll be able to do every ride in the park, I imagine. I love the 3 rides that we did. We did the car coaster, we did the rapids, and we did the Ferris wheel. The rapids was amazing. It's probably my favorite ride of the park. What about you?
I have to agree. That was my favorite too. I mean, there are rapids everywhere, but it's all about those fine details. And this park just nailed it. They got it perfectly. I mean, it was just great. How would you describe the details of it?
Details were amazing. It felt like I was truly in a canyon and water rafting. In fact, that cave popped out of nowhere. I had no idea there was going to be a cave system that you went through. And it was well lit too. It wasn't just a dark cave.
Yeah, it was all rainbow colors and fun and something that's not found elsewhere so much.
But overall, don't come on a holiday and you'll have plenty.
Keep stressing that. Don't come on a holiday. Don't come on a holiday. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that the last few days with Disneyland and here, and continue with the next 2 days or so. It's just one big holiday week for them.
Yeah, but
We'll
if you come to Disney Shanghai, you have to come here for at least 2 or 3 rides. They have some really, truly good rides, and you should definitely come here. It's just a quick subway stop, so.
Yeah, and I love the fact that this park, it gives you more of that local feel where, you know, Disneyland, it's like it attracts everybody, locals and people far away, but this feels much more local based, and I always seek that out.
Super local. A couple people actually took their pictures with us. Probably because they saw us on YouTube and they're like, oh my gosh, it's park in here, they're here.
They're here. I know that's your dream. But yeah, it was a great day. I would do this again one more time. It was just really good. I would not do it on the holiday.
Yeah. If you come here early, I'm sure you can get all the rides out of the way in the first few hours. But yeah, tomorrow we're off to Disney Shanghai. Should be another fun-filled day. See you then.
小朋友注意了，听到广播后，请马上到游客中心